Oh, there's Sonya. Good evening and welcome to Friday with the Fellas. We got Sonya that just popped in here. Good, great. Happy birthday again there, Sonya. Make sure you unmute yourself there, young lady. And then we got James, of course.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I was muted.
What's going on? Yeah.
What's up?
She got the birthday stuff behind her and stuff. Look at that. The birthday balloons.
Shout out to my girl Trina who got me some roses and balloons and refreshed them for me. So I have a new set today. So thank you so much to her, one of my besties. Bestie number two. That's number one. That's number two. So yeah. But what's up, everybody? Shout out to B because the great production, and shout out to James J Train. Let me just take a moment real here. Sorry, guys. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. I really want to give J Train his flowers because he is like the coolest divisional rival I have ever met. Like, he gets on here all the time. You know, he's honest, he's factual, he checks you when you need to be checked on realities about your team, whether or not they're good or not. But he's always poised. And I want to give a shout out to you, James, because you're an awesome friend and brother. I've grown to respect and love you so much because you do have a very astute head on your shoulders when it comes to sports. And you're very level-headed. You know, sometimes we can get caught up in the fandom. I mean, I'm one, and just forget the facts. Y'all like that? Yeah, fandom of facts.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you very much, and you too, Brian. It's one iron sharpens iron. One can't do nothing. I usually feed off like greatness, and I feel greatness in the room. So it really helps me to be who I am in the show and allow me to again to be that person you're talking about, to be honest, to be level headed. And sometimes I can get, you see my hot moments and my moments where I get loud. So, but for it's just the human nature part aspect of it. And I am also a diehard Saints fan. I don't always let it out here on the show, but definitely without a doubt, it's been great working on the show with you both, with the other two guys, the others, as Shaq likes to say. We're speaking of A Train and Kevo, who said he was going to be on the show tonight. I'm going to call him out, and and stop lying, brother. Come on the show, Kevo. If you're out there, those are lies. Come on the show.
And I'm just so amazed how I met, and thank you for that, brother. And thank you for the birthday shouts too, guys. Y'all know me celebrating all month. And actually, it's a good thing because, like, my favorite cousin, who's like a sister to me, had never missed my birthday. And I was like, okay, she must be in the hospital because, like, this has never happened. Sure enough, she dropped her phone while she was traveling and was not able to replace it until she came back and called me literally just yesterday. So I really am celebrating all month. It is just, you celebrate every day. All of us do. It's a blessing to be here every single day. Every single second is a moment to be reborn and to be greater. So let's move on. I'm just super excited. Pink Fanfare, thanks for the reels. Always big shout out to you, sis. Got her own show on Thursday nights. Check her out here live as well. And B is just doing all this production. And shout out to Miss Linda. Thank you for my text a couple days ago as well, Miss Linda. Love you. Thank you so much for the accolades. All right, so we know the winter. There you go. What's up, Pink? We know that the Winter Olympics are amongst us. This is one of these lulls, guys. I actually was watching NBA games last night to stay up on point. And let me just put it out here like this. I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I'm becoming one. LeBron is like I mean, that guy has aged gracefully. He is so respectable. He's a family man. He's still putting up big numbers on the points on the board. To be his age, to see the maturation from the inception of him coming into the league as a early 20-something-year-old. Was he 20, 19, 20? Very early. And he's right at the cusp of 1,600, I believe was the count, games that he's actually played. They gave the number. He was doing a sit down last night. But I know, James, you are a LeBron fan, and you have been a LeBron fan even since his Cleveland days, his Miami days. You have followed him throughout the league. And I mean, he just seems to keep on getting, he's not lulling at all, in my opinion.
No. So look, there's always going to be haters and allegations, and again, these are allegations meaning like him being accused of using steroids. He's 41, so and he's still playing longevity. But LeBron James, what he does admits to is putting. Well, he said that's not true about putting 1.5 million dollars into his body. He said I don't know where people are getting that from,
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
yes, but he does take care of himself. That's
I
what we
just thought it
can
was like
say.
health stuff, like therapy. Like it's nothing wrong with, taking care of conditioning your body. I thought that's what he
Right,
did.
right,
He's not doing that either.
right. No, I mean I agree with you. I was with you the same.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? I'm like, it looks like he's putting that much money into his body. I thought it was true. He
Mm-hmm.
came out and said that was maybe a few months ago that in an interview he said that I don't know where people getting that from, but I mean, but he does take care of himself. Let's just put it that way. It's obvious when you look at him, you can see he's always been a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Starting out at 18, he was a man amongst boys, a man child as they called him, and ever since I saw him play that first game in Cleveland when he scored 25 points, he won me over.
Mm-hmm.
And man, ever since his highs were my highs, his lows were my lows. And man, it's just to see his first child being born. Bronny, when I saw him walking around in Akron, Ohio, when they were in their home, walking around, crawling around as a baby, and now you see him, he's playing in the league with them. That just
That's
shows you that,
wild.
I mean, to see all this that happens,
Yeah.
right? You watching this child, I almost, just grow up before your eyes and
Yeah.
and to play in a league. And I mean, let's not forget a year or two ago, there was a health scare, where he
Mm-hmm.
had a heart issue and you
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he's just boy not forget playing basketball, but whether or not he's going to live. And
Right.
so, just my heart goes out to LeBron James, his family, and I commend him on being at least setting the precedence of the appearance of being the man that we think that he is. Because you just don't know what people do behind closed doors. I will never not acknowledge that. But from what
Mm-hmm.
you give us and what you have not allowed anything bad to be out in the field, not beating your wife, not
Right.
be an abuser of your
Cheating
children,
on
these
her.
things
Right.
that you hear. Yes, I mean, just
Womanizer. Exactly.
yes, opening a school for kids and just come on, man. It's just
Yes.
people hate on this man, but these are the things that you want to see from a man, period, but specifically from because of all the stereotypes and the different things that have come upon black men. This is what you want to see, the representation. This is and give respect to because of whether you like him or not. He has antics and he has ego. All great players have ego, but
Mm-hmm.
take the best from the worst. Take the best that far exceeds the small little things that you want to pick on. This is what you got. And LeBron James, leader in scoring, four-time NBA champion, and not only that, he's also in fourth place, I believe, in assist. So this is that special player that you've seen that two times, three times Magic Johnson type of player. Not they no comparison to Michael Jordan because they're not the same
Mm-hmm.
type of player. I compare him to someone like Oscar Robinson, someone like Magic Johnson because he's just a very athletic version of those two guys. And hey, shouts out to LeBron. Thank you for giving me that segment regarding that.
Absolutely. Listen, I will say this, and B, you probably agree. I actually was probably one of those haters just for no reason. I just felt like, he just had a chip on his shoulder. But the off court life is what kind of swayed me to see, this type of leader, when we see everywhere so much negativity surrounded professional athletes, it's very refreshing. It's actually refreshing but sad that we can literally almost count on a couple of hands how many players that we see that have integrity in themselves. They don't lose themselves. They seem to be managers and well custodials of their money, enough to bless others with their wealth. They take care of their families. God has really blessed LeBron to become a father and to grow up. Like, he grew up as an early teen with us. We watched him, all of us, grow up from the McDonald's Player of the Year all the way to now, to becoming a father. And now his son is a full adult playing in the same league. Like, we are blessed to see such a maturation, but he just seems to be so level-headed. Like, even though, we call it cocky on the court, when they talk to him and things like that, he is all but.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm not a hater.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big LeBron James fan
Mm-hmm.
of his basketball. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But off the court, that dude is awesome.
Yeah.
He is a great humanitarian, a person that you'd want your kids to look up to, just for the stuff that he does off the court. I mean, he's been married for how many years now? 20 years, 19 years, something like that. Just saw that. Sports couples that have been around for a long time. And I mean, as much as James says about him representing black men in a glorious light, I just think he's, as a person,
mm-hmm.
regardless of his colors, the dude is extraordinary. I tell you what, I'm the one that'll say I think Michael Jordan is better than LeBron and this blah blah blah. But at the same time, I will also tell you, Michael Jordan off the court,
yes,
big a-hole. No, I wouldn't mess with him. LeBron, though, he doesn't. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. He's been at games I've seen to opposing and he's giving love to everybody. He don't care if you're, if he goes plays the Pistons or something like that, he gives love to the Pistons fans. There's no problem with him. You can say whatever you want. You can be like me, not like his game. Well, I'm not a LeBron fan in basketball. But you could be like that, but you can still appreciate the guy he is a wonderful human being. He is. And there's nothing to say more than what James said, actually.
Yeah. It's really weird because y'all remember growing up and, certain songs you'd hear on the radio, young folks tune in. We had a radio. We listened to music there. Wasn't streaming. You heard a song on the radio and it might not be all that, but as soon as you saw the video, it's like the video would make the song and it made you like the song. That's kind of how I think about it. There were certain songs that I was just like, it's okay. But I would see the video on MTV Raps or Hip Hop 106 in Park or something like that. I'm like, okay, and then every time I would listen out for it because the video made the song. This is the thing that LeBron has been able to do to sway the non-LeBron fans because of his antics off the court. And like you said, as much as Jordan gets his feel of being the greatest and all this, and even God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant, filled with scandal as well. Like those greats, the money just I don't know. They always say when you have a lot of money, you kind of just run out of things to do. So you're bored. You are so bored because there's nothing lacking that you can't get, and so you just become just bored. Like you just want something else to do. And of course, Kobe redeemed himself, thank God, before he passed, but we still watched it. And to see that LeBron, as a young man, married a young bride, and still you never hear of no side chicks, no DMs, you don't see anything from him. I'm a little hesitant to say, but I will say LeBron kind of is like the relational of the parallel of Barack Obama in the White House. No scandal to this day. No scandal. LeBron, so far to this day, no scandal.
And Sonia, since you used that video analogy, the singer to the video, I got a video you popped in my head that I would say that if anybody hadn't heard the song first when it first popped out in 1984 or 85, the video Thriller to Michael Jackson singing it, I would say that would be the equivalent of LeBron James the greatness when you actually see his play or see and or watch the video or watching his life and how it has transformed or just elevated and just what you were able to see. To me, Thriller would be the equivalent of what LeBron James's life has been.
Thriller is like one of the all-time greatest choreographed videos of all time. Y'all can go online and Google that. Anybody under the age of, I don't know what, 40, they're not gonna know it.
Probably
It's
Gen
amazing.
Z. I mean, Gen Zs or Gen
Yeah,
A's maybe.
the Z's. They run out of alphabets. I guess the next group will be AAs. Get it like AA. But I just had to start that off with LeBron because I was watching him last night and I was like, wow. Before we segue to the next part, I do want to congratulate my niece Pearson Jones. Tonight is her senior night. She is playing her final basketball game with Southwest Guilford High School, where she is a starter, number 12. Pearson has decorated the local newspapers as one of the game savers. She's put up those clutch balls right at the end and has won the games. And tonight she's being honored in Greensboro with her parents. And I was supposed to be there, but her mom told me I had to work on something with school. And so I'll be seeing Pearson next month when she participates in her Jabberwock scholarship on March 15th. And so thank you to all of you who continuously support Pearson and support, just my family as a whole. I really appreciate that, guys. All right, guys, so let's move along. Have we, I was trying to think. I don't think we've had a show since the Super Bowl. We have not met. Last Friday, was it last Friday? Yeah, we have had one. Sorry, guys. That was our first show.
Well, we've had a few on this network. Yes,
we've had a few on the network. I haven't had I hadn't had an opportunity to talk to you guys. All right, let's talk about something real quick. All right, today the NFL informed all 32 teams in a memo that is prevailing as grievance versus the NFLPA, the National Football League Players Association, and its team report cards. There's an arbitrator that has been named that's determined that the NFLP's conduct has violated the CBA, and they are ordering it to stop making public any future report cards. Now, for you guys who do not know what that is, this is all related to this voting and things of that nature. They didn't like the fact that the votes came out for the Hall of Fame people. Excuse me, people sound like Medea. Hall of Fame people. And they're basically saying there are numerous and significant limitations that have gone down and have been exposed in the NFLPA over the last few seasons. Like, this has just kind of come to a head with everything. And so Adam Schefter actually reported on this today. You guys can see the whole memo on X. They're basically saying they're pleased to report that the NFL actually prevailed in this grievance, guys. So there's going to be a lot of things hushed that was public knowledge that is no longer public knowledge. There was an arbitration that occurred behind the scenes that basically they said they didn't find that the union's independent survey necessarily actually conflicted with anything that the NFL was doing, but there were certain things that they're going to be kind of guided on going forward. Were you all aware of that? This was basically disclosing individual future players' report cards. That would be the draft and things of that sort.
I mean, I saw it in the news, but that whole thing is laughable. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. Why would you exclude a report card? I mean, is it hurting feelings? I mean, what's the deal here?
I think it's the fact that it's public knowledge now. Somebody basically, every entity has like things that are considered to be privileged information amongst that organization. And apparently, I don't know if you guys are aware, I'm pretty sure there's like rumors. It's so weird because in a day of AI, you have to make sure, okay, did this really happen? Like, is this real? So Basically, this is all coming unfolded from the actual Hall of Fame information. Like when Robert
Bill
Kraft and
Belichick.
Bill Belichick was snubbed. I guess they're trying to find some kind of way of basically exposing who did not vote for them. It goes all the way down to that type of thinness.
I
And
could
just things like that.
I could see why, honestly, in that regard, because when I first heard about people wanting to expose voters, um, I really thought that that would be a dangerous thing because we're talking about millions of fans and people getting death threats because of what they've done. I mean, this is just their job at the end of the day, and that is also at the end of the day, it's a game. So, and you're going to threaten me because I just, I had the opportunity. I'm not saying that any of these writers are not biased or not unfair or unjust what they're doing, but it's again, it's still their job. At the end, these guys are still alive. They have an opportunity to get voted in the next year, and I just think that it's you know having anonymous, I always say the other, anonymity. I can't even say that word properly.
Anonymity.
Yes.
Anonymity.
Yes, exactly. Having
Can't
that
even say it.
is it's I think it's important. I think it's important in that regard. Exposing people is just it might be a little dangerous. That's just my in my
I think
opinion,
with
honestly.
this specific one, though, they're talking about, and I really don't see what the harm is either, James, except for what you're saying. If you're talking about votes, that's the whole thing, because that should be secret and confidential, secret ballot. But specifically, there was a hearing that just occurred that they were given individual team report cards, that they were talking about the grades of clubs, facilities, ownership, and staff. And this violated CBA provisions requiring both parties to curtail public comments for disparaging clubs or individuals. And now the NFLPA, the National Football League Players Association, which is retired players basically, is now prohibited from publishing or publicly disparaging anybody that's going to be future NFL players or current NFL players. The NFL actually stated that it remains committed to working with them and resolving some of their issues that they have had and anything that they find scientifically valid in their complaint process, especially like with medical care. But some of the grievances that they had was like the injury report. So everybody knows the IR comes out like right before the game, okay, this person didn't practice, da, 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 da. It's basically normal for the NFLPA to file a grievance if a player is released while physically unable to perform due to a football related injury. So like if they drop him from the roster, and this person, kind of like an example would be Jonathan Brooks for the Carolina Panthers. He was drafted, he got injured. He played like one or two games, got injured again, and we have not talked about him anymore. I need to check and see if he's still on the roster because he was big, supposed to be big to come back. And as a running back though, right now, because there's already a crowded running back room with Rico Dowdle, who may be doubtable to come back, but Chuba Hubbard came into his own. We don't know what this means for Jonathan Brooks, but the non-injury grievances that occurred were disputes such as fines. Like they were like we would hear it, like, okay, if there's a fight on the field, some fines are going to get tossed out. They did not want those fines released to the public, the actual monetary amounts. And they didn't want any of the details of suspensions out. But I'm just like, how can you not? Because the laws for the NFL say that the public has a right within 50 days of the occurrences to get that information. And it's public knowledge. We all sat there and witnessed it. We know it's going to be some disciplinary actions behind it.
That's the NFL covering their ass. That's what that is. Straight up. Because if you ever look at some of these fines, some fines are tipped higher than other fines for the same thing. And you're like, okay, why is this? And then people make assumptions on the fact that because whoever the character is. So if you got one person that is known, Brian Branch, for instance, from the Lions, he gets looked at really hard in all his games because of his antics on the field. Not necessarily he's doing anything. He's just a hard hitter, and sometimes he doesn't. His hits are, not target friendly. I'll put it to you that way. So they get on him. So if he gets a fine 1 week for helmet to helmet contact, okay, and say it's a $15,000 fine, he does it again, or another player does it, and he gets fined $13,000, then that's what the NFL is trying to cover up to show that they do that stuff just to whatever they want to do. Basically, that's what the NFL is. So they're just covering up that they can do that because it looks bad on them. Because why do you finding this player this, and you're always going to have that. There's no set fine for a set problem in the NFL. It's always based on what they want to find. So I think that's another thing. They just want to cover their butt, and they want to cover over everything. So I mean, it's a private. You got to remember, the NFL is a private. It is a private company.
Yeah.
So they can do what they want to do.
Yeah, not for long, and not for the longevity. And another thing they're going to do, and then we'll move on from this, is when players are injured. You guys know how they have the team doctor and, to examine them or whatever. I guess they have been, because I couldn't substantiate one way or another. I guess they have been letting, if I'm a player and I get hurt, I can go home to my own doctor. Well, now the team doctor is going to check you out, which we already knew that. But now they're going to have another independent doctor that's not your doctor and not the team doctor check you out to check the validity of your injury. I'm like, y'all doing too much. If you see my bone popping out, clearly it's broken. I don't need to go to an independent doctor to be checked as to the severity of my injury to see if I can play. That's crazy.
I understand that too, in the sense that we have a lot of people out here who think they're doctors but don't play, but play one on TV and on comment sections. Again, I'm gonna point to one of our players that we had, Kirby. It was said that he had a degenerative knee problem. That's the reason why he couldn't finish his season. And that's not the case. But at the same time, you can have that. I mean, and he went to several doctors to get a second and third opinion about the whole situation. Now, we still don't really know what's going on with his knee. But again, that's infringing on that player's right to do what he or she wants to do. Well, he wants to do with his play. If he wants to go to his primary caregiver, let him go to his primary care. That's the person who knows him the most. And then
I don't know, maybe these players, like they were paying him off or something. You just never know.
It's like saying a doctor,
or maybe
doctors telling you, you're this and then that, but you know your body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and you go out there and say, no, that has nothing to do with the situation. And the doctor might be a well-known doctor who's done this before, but he's just out there spraying out stuff. And the player knows. This is why I say whenever anybody has an injury in the NFL, it's based on the person. If the person thinks they're not injured enough to go play concussion wise, that's a different story. But like any ACL or anything like that, if they feel they can't play, they will not play because this is their livelihood. And if they feel they can get injured more, it's not going to help them. So if they feel they can go out in the field and play, that's their decision. Don't let a doctor who's not even being paid by the team,
I mean, the team. I was going to say sometimes the team doctors, they're probably covering up for some things that were done wrong or mistakes that have happened, and it's not uncommon. It's been told sometimes where some teams are just like surprised at how bad sometimes their team, their medical team was, and so injuries and are not just the medical team, but the recovery, the what do you call it when you're just like the people that help maintain it, not just rehab, but I'm trying to think of the other term for maintaining guys and keeping their health up and everything like that, strength and conditioning.
Oh yeah,
those teams, all those tie hand in hand. And if some of these injuries are coming more so, you might see it with one team versus another team. You're going to look at with a strange eye, and then some players, they begin to have little antsy feet, like, I don't know if I want to get this done here. I might have somebody on the outside that I want to get a second opinion from. And that's where they want to cover some of those things up, because they don't want to have it look like a situation where they got bad bad training or a bad medical team, and then here comes some lawsuits and different things like that. So it's just a lot of things that they're just trying to cover up. So that's like you said.
Especially now that they
Protecting the
have these
brand. That's all they're doing.
yeah, especially now that they have these contracts that tell you they have to take so many snaps. You know, they're trying to probably get their personal doctor. Hey, man, hurry and clear me. I got to make this money. I got to make this. You know, if I don't make this play, if I don't play, if you can't clear me for at least 2 games, I mean, I can just hear the conversations. I just need you to clear me for 2 games so I can fulfill the obligations of my contract. Because if I don't, I'm going to get cut out of this amount of money. So of course, we will. Y'all know I always say the verdict is still out. This is just something that just was released today. Keeping it a little bit law related. Brian Flores lawsuit has a U.S. district judge has ruled that the racial discrimination lawsuit filed by Brian Flores and others against the NFL can proceed to trial in open court, rejecting the NFL's attempt to try to go into private arbitration. So just like you guys said, they don't want nobody knowing what's going on. They wanted to meet with a mediator quietly behind doors, pay Brian probably off a little small amount that's never disclosed. And the U.S. district judge is saying, nope, we're going to have this an open trial where everybody can see it because this is a public matter. So stay tuned. It's probably going to be on, what is it, Law and Crime or Law and something on YouTube where they stream all the major trials. They probably will be bringing it to you real soon. And yeah. All right. Let's talk about Deebo Samuel.
Just also on that too, the other people that are involved in that case is Steve Wilkes, who recently just got fired from the Jets. And what's his name? Horton. He was a coach too. He's also part of that suit with Wilkes and Flores. So those two.
Okay, so before we even go on, Steve Wilkes absolutely should be on there. There are Panthers fans to this day that when we play games or do something, it never fails. There's always a comment when we lose a game that we really needed to win or should have won. They'll make a comment like, yep, the Panthers are never going to do this because they didn't do right. Like, it's been years. And because of the interview process that occurred when Steve Wilkes was there, now, there was rumblings that they actually did interview him and called him back for a second interview. But you had got us like 6-7 wins, and he was not hired. They went outside and brought someone else in. This was like when we had like 6 coaches in 3 years, 3 or 4 years. It was 6 coaches. And Panthers fans to this day are still irate because even though you don't want to say it, it does come down to some teams will never hire a minority head coach. And the Panthers thought that they had already, quote, met the quota by hiring Ron Rivera under Jerry Richardson. So they felt like, okay, we already hired a minority, been there, done that, moving on. Like, we've already checked the box, basically. No, you didn't check the box. And now you are now part in some form. The Panthers are going to be part of this filing because Steve Wilkes is mentioned for that specific incident because he went on and became the scapegoat to the 49ers. As soon as they got out of the playoffs, they fired him as DC. But to not have a head coaching opportunity is what this lawsuit is really about. And this has been going on for some years now. I don't know the end result, but U.S. District Court is a federal matter now, and that can take several years, or they may expedite this and try to get this on the calendar this year because it has been so long, and there are statute of limitations to bring such actions even within the federal scope. So we'll keep an eye out on that, guys. All right, let's talk about a little Yoli, GB in the house. She said, I was shocked to see, but we really were not shocked to see Deebo Samuel is officially done. $12.3 million still on the table, guys. Does Deebo come back to the league at all?
So my question is, I haven't heard this yet. Is he done with the Commanders or he's done with football?
He's done with the Commanders. He's so basically it came out today that Deebo left $12.3 million. I read the article. I didn't read the whole thing because I was just reading in passing. So basically, y'all know he has not been present at all. And he's been a wide receiver, veteran, of course. He's actually seen his contract void. They've actually voided the contract as of today. That's the best word to tell it. That's how they described it, making him an unrestricted free agent to hit the open market on March 11th. Now, the Commanders are incurring the $12.3 million dead cap hit for the 2026 season due to the voided years on his restructured deal. They restructured his deal and dude just never showed back up. Like, it's wild. I don't know what to think at this point. Like, what do you guys think happens with Debo?
I don't know. Does he and Brandon Ayuk have the same agent? What's going on?
They gotta have it. They gotta have it. I was just thinking
I
about
mean,
Ayuk.
it seemed like twins here. I mean, I don't know. Are they, Tweedledee and Tweedledum? And no offense.
Yeah.
I don't understand people and their money and their decision making. I mean, I'm not a person that can just make that type of decision because no one just gave me 12 point whatever million. You earned, first of all, you earned that money. And I need to read a little more and get a little more context into the story because I don't know if were those guarantees or not guarantees. That money was it guaranteed?
Yeah, well, it's funny you brought up it was guaranteed because it was I guess they just got to have to eat that money. But Brandon Ayuk, same thing. As of today, the 49ers have officially voided his contract, leaving $27 million in the 2026 contract guarantees and are expected to try to trade him during the offseason. But his contract is voided at this point. He spent the entire season on the PUP list while recovering from that right knee injury that everybody knew about, torn ACL, MCL, and the meniscus. He had a devastating injury from 2024. But there were some contract disputes that he had going on between him and the 49ers, and they just said it just broke down with the contract talks. And so they went ahead and just voided him this week, and they're basically guaranteeing that he failed to attend mandatory meetings and stop coming to the rehab sessions to get him well. So
it's got to be a San Francisco thing.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
thinking.
Yeah,
both those players are from San Francisco. But my thing is, first of all, the fact that his teammates said that they hadn't talked to him in a while. Yeah. Speaking of Brandon Ayuk, that to me that was a red flag in regards to thinking that maybe there's a little more to what's going on with Brandon Ayuk, where someone needs to do a wellness check to make sure that he might be okay. There may be some mental illness going on, and I'm not wishing that on him again. I said that before, and I'll say this again. But that just doesn't make any sense for someone to just not attend meetings, not attend just
rehab
practice. Something doesn't sound right. And to give to not know your contract, I'm pretty sure he did know his contract, to let 27 million guaranteed be taken away from you to where you have there's no recourse. And I don't understand that. That doesn't make any logical sense. And so that, to me, that tells me that there may be something else that we're not addressing here, or that's not being put out there in the media. And the team may be protecting him from that, and I get it. I mean, it's not something you want to just let out, because we talk about injuries all the time, but we don't talk about that aspect medically about guys, because I mean, as much as we like to put it out there and say that it's acceptable to have this sort of thing, and you go to counseling and different things, you take medications and you get better if you can, or they take it day by day. There's still a stigma. There's a stigma out there, and they didn't put it out there about that, but to me that didn't make any sense. The coach was baffled. The GM was baffled. It just didn't make any sense. So there's something else going on that we don't know.
Not talking to your teammates, like none of them as a whole, like it's like you have completely cut everybody off. Because who doesn't talk to at least their teammates? Like, that is absolutely wild. What do you think, B?
I did see something a while back about he did say that he likes to stay to himself. He's just that kind of a guy, and he doesn't really converse with a lot of people. He's a stay it to himself type of person, and he said this. So I'm not surprised. It's just a person. It could be. Hopefully, it ain't what James says. I hope it's none of that anyway. I hope we both hope we're both wrong on that, but
we never saw it before, though.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens when people change or people do things that we're not used to. We go for we expect the worst out of the situation instead of saying, well, maybe the guy just don't want to be bothered with anybody. Maybe he just wants to keep to himself. I know people that are like that. There are people that don't have any mental issues like that. They just don't want to be bothered with everybody because, I mean, and frankly, you can't complain against that whole situation because you look at how the world is today anyway. Half the time, I don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah. So, because people are just nuts in the first place.
But you can't make a phone call and say, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want my 27 million.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's the issue that I'm having the problem with. Not necessarily not talking to his teammates, but not talking to the front office, your boss, basically, your agent. Like, hey, the agent probably been reaching out to him. Yeah. He probably left voice messages and he's not even contacting the agent back. Dude, I mean, are you playing like Call of Duty and so you just can't be bothered or something like that? You and Kyler Murray going to the Call of Duty. I don't know what's going on with you, bro. At least put a feeler out there and say, look, I don't want to be bothered. I don't give a damn about the money. Then we can understand it. If you just say that kind of stuff and just not let it be under the rug, nobody understands what's going on. Not that we're anybody special out here as a public, but at the same time, your job needs to know. Mm-hmm. Your agent needs to know.
No call, no show.
Yes, right. We get fired for stuff like that. He makes 27 million. What? What's wrong with this world? But anyway, yeah. I just think he just wants to be. But like I said, when it comes to your business, that's a whole different story. You need to let people know what's going on, even if you don't want to let people know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to your work situation.
Yeah, people are depending on you.
Yeah.
All right. So, B, if you could run our little commercial real quick, you guys get your phones out. We're running this for like 3 more weeks. This is going to be Pearson, and this is her singing It's Like That. It's a scholarship run, and we'll be back in like 1 minute and 10 seconds.
All right.
And God above made you a masterpiece. The vision is clearer, nearer. My God, to thee, learning to lean on his power. Your perspective can be sweet when circumstances are sour. I'm saying.
See the vision clearer. Your identity is waiting, and you feel that hope is fading. Just hold on, it's gonna be alright. Trust in God, stand firm and hold tight. It's like that, yeah. It's like that, yeah.
Meditation, I'm searching for a peace that's not present. I'm searching for feelings of solitude, emotions that's pleasant. Treasure, what do you deem important versus essential? We put our heart and soul in every line behind instrumentals. Coincidental? I think not. God's plan from the very beginning. Create the type of music that make people think twice before sinning. Pleading, Holy Father, please forgive our trespasses. Confusing things we want for things we need in life, our must-haves. Selfish, inconsiderate, narcissistic people. Christ died for all the world, so there is power in Jesus. Issues happen, disagreements, dissensions, distortions. This fallen flesh, we still forget sometimes that God is our portion. Forcing, others won't cut it, nor manipulation. One thing that's very destructive is self-righteous behavior. Satan, he's crafty, throwing darts like Bailey's.
All right, thank you guys. Shout out to Chuck, sounding like Common, the Christian Common, and Pearson, of course. And thank you guys for everybody that's donated. She is on the final push, so we have about 3 more weeks of donations. No donation is too small for her scholarship with Delta Sigma Theta. Of course, Pearson gets to keep all monies that she earns, and she is in a competition. Whoever of those ladies that earns the most money in their scholarship drives, Delta Sigma Theta will match their scholarship for the Jabberwock. So congratulations. That will be starting here March 15th to Pearson, my niece. So thank you, B, for running that. And James, thank you for joining us back. All right, guys. So it looks like even though Seattle is the Super Bowl champions right now, Sam Darnold becoming the first participant of the 2018 draft class to win a Super Bowl. Kudos to Sam, the real Mr. Irrelevant, who came back in there. It looks like Seattle got their defensive coordinator left. So now they have hired the Ravens defensive coordinator, Zach Orr, to their defensive staff. You guys, what are your thoughts on him? Are you guys familiar with the Ravens defensive coordinator?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think with
He
Seattle
wasn't very
being?
good last year.
That's what I thought. That's why I'm like, hold on.
But you got to think about it, though. Seattle is run by a defensive head coach.
Right.
Zach Orr is just going to be somebody that's under him that runs his plays. He might even have a little bit of say in it, but we know McDonald is the one that's going to be doing the defense.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way, like Andy Reid does the offense. Whoever's the offensive coordinator underneath him is just there for the ride and to give some help to the offense. But other than that, it's Andy Reid's offense. Right. So there you go. It's not a big deal. Actually, that's pretty good. That's good for him, Zach Orr.
And as long as they keep those pieces in place on defense, that they should be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of defense, are we going to talk about, I know you guys probably talked about it already, but Mr. James Pierce Jr.
Get out of my head. Go ahead, James. Talk about it, because I literally was pulling up the notes on him. Go ahead.
I'll let you start there. Go ahead.
No. I'm literally, because y'all got the same name. I'm ready for you on this one.
Oh, okay. Well, we all know James Pierce Jr. Drafted 26 overall by the Atlanta Falcons out of Tennessee. The highly touted deep edge rusher. He was up, and accolades include being up for the Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, number 3rd. He had 10.5 sacks. He came on really strong at the latter part of the season, and seems like he came on strong in some other ways as well off the field. Pulling up to his ex-girlfriend, Rakia Jackson, the LA Sparks. I don't know if she's a guard or forward, but she plays for the LA Sparks and lives in Miami. And she was down there playing games. And this guy, wow, allegedly, he pulled up on her in his Lamborghini SUV and at a red light, tried to open her door to get into the car with her. And she pulled off, tried to drive off, calling the police, going to the police station. He rammed her car several times, once in the back and once head on. And the police got there. They came out. He ran and got into the car, hit a police officer, and they ensued in a high speed chase to get him. He had an accident. He got out of the vehicle. If you see the footage of it, he's towering over everybody. Yeah. And so he resisted arrest, which is one of the charges. So he's got aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is his vehicle. Yes, he got several charges, five felonies. The biggest one is hitting that officer with your vehicle. That's a minimum charge of 5 years. So he's got a team of lawyers, and I'm pretty sure the NFL and the Atlanta Falcons organization's got him teamed up, but I don't know. My thing is, this is a guy the Atlanta Falcons gave up. The regime of Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris gave up their 2026 draft pick, which is number 13th overall, to the LA Rams to come back up in the 26th spot to pick him up. And you may not have him ever again, and he may not be playing in the league ever again. And it's just unfortunate. This is the thing we were talking about, mental illness. There's been some things about him in the past that was questionable in the draft. It kind of brought his stock down, because this is a guy that could have been drafted in the top 10. But because of some things that they were they had out there on him already, probably led to this. And Lord knows what's going to happen when video footage comes out. If it's any footage, if there's any like abuse, because I'm not saying that he did the same thing, but the Ray Rice situation, that comes to mind. And you see what happened to him. So this is suspension is the least of his worries. He wants to stay out of prison, because again, he got all those charges, like you said, and he may be up. The odds may be stacked against him to getting out of those things. You're the law expert, ma'am. I'll leave the rest of that to you to go over into that.
I'm actually wearing my legal shirt tonight, working on this appellate brief for class. Y'all send some prayers and good vibes for me. This thing is massive. I've been working on it for 3 weeks, and it is due Sunday morning at 11. And I'm trying to turn it in by tomorrow. I've been up to 6 a.m. 4 nights this week working on this paper. I'm talking about 6 a.m. the next morning. and that's after class. And so, yeah, so I'm just gonna put my little legal hat on for a minute, lawyer in training. First of all, this is what I'm talking about. Just a segue from the beginning of the show when we talked about how LeBron James has not been in no mess. Okay, the mess includes not just being a family man, but no law enforcement mess, no breaking the law, no hood stuff. I'm sorry, I can't think of another word. No hood stuff. This dude, there is such a limitation to talent in the NFL. There's so many talented people that don't even get an opportunity that are probably equal or greater talent than what we see because the pickings are so slim. And this guy set the Falcons rookie record for quarterback pressures, 45. So I know he got after Bryce Young. I know he got after pretty much every quarterback that they played with that many pressures on the quarterback. He literally pressured every single game that he played. He got after everybody's quarterback. And 26 tackles, 17 tackles by himself with solo tackles, a fumble recovery, and he finished third place, like you said, James. He could have very well, this happened the night after the honors. This dude could have very well been the defensive rookie player of the year, and to literally less than 48 hours now be booked in. He's bonded out on $20,000, which he better be glad this ish wasn't in Georgia, because you're not getting no bond that low in Georgia hitting no police officer. You're not getting no bond at all. This officer just signed an affidavit earlier today that is agreeing to testify, and you can hang it up like a telephone. I know y'all don't hang it up in this day, but we all know how it is to hang up a phone. You can hang it up like a telephone because a police officer's word is going to win every time in the court, in front of jurors, in front of anybody. They're going to look at the credibility of you, who rammed this lady's car multiple times. And I digress to say, this is not your first time doing this, something similar to her. You didn't just wild out because you lost defensive rookie player of the year and decide to go all willy-nilly on everybody. You have at least pushed her, done something that no one knew about. And to know that in this day and age, you don't care about witnesses when everybody's got a phone, everybody's got a Ring camera, a Google Nest or something on their house or business, and you are doing this, like this is not mental health. This is straight evil. You are now facing 5 felony counts, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. They literally are saying you used this car that could have unalived a police officer. And if you were in Georgia, they would have probably charged you not with the aggravated battery. They probably would have got you with attempted unaliving on a police officer if you're doing that. This officer's knee was damaged. Then you fled and eluded. And in some states, that's a felony. Then you have another aggravated battery and stalking. So let me just break this part down to you guys, and we can move, and I'll get your opinion. I know someone, well, I don't know the person, but I know somebody that knows somebody that just had an aggravated stalking in Georgia, and it's a female just got life in prison for aggravated stalking of her former girlfriend in Georgia, and she had a kidnapping charge, aggravated stalking and kidnapping. Aggravated stalking is when you have a temporary restraining order put against you. That lets me know that this young lady had put paperwork on him to keep him away from her. You don't care about no paperwork. So once you ignore the paperwork, the stalking goes from regular stalking or violation of a TRO to aggravated, which literally in some jurisdictions can get you 7 to 10 years by itself. That's automatically. I don't care how many lawyers you got. You hit a police officer, you rammed this girl's car multiple times, and you violated a restraining order. They're probably going to recommend about 15 to 20 on this. I don't see 5 at all, because he's got 5 charges by themselves. And so the Falcons, if you see this video come out, your best bet is to move on right now. Move on right now. Cut this. I know Falcons cannot cut a break. I feel bad because they are still in rebuild. They're still trying to get their grapplings with the NFC South. They almost did it. You think you have this gem of a player, and This dude is a whim of a player. Whim short for wimp. Because that's what type of person, male or female, that would make a person feel victim in their own vehicle. You basically encapsulated her and trapped her in the confines of her vehicle because she was afraid of her safety. And then when a police officer intervened, you showed no respect towards the law. You looped him in with that same dynamic of assault as well.
Yeah. Let's get off the mental history thing, okay? Because this has been going on since the dawn of time. Just now it's more socialized on the media. So
exactly.
The fact that he did that, there's always these crazy people out there. And what makes it sad about the situation, the dude has all the talent in the world, but he has a nugget for a brain. You know what I'm saying? And you can't allow somebody to affect your life that much where you are driven to the point of going nuts on somebody because they're your ex, you know. And you got to understand, well, how did that feels to her too? Now, she's in a professional sport as well, and I mean, she got victimized by somebody else in a professional sport, and people see that too as well now on social media. I mean, I'm gonna put this in as non-politically as I possibly can. What he did to that police officer was nowhere near what that young lady did to the ICE officer. Okay. He went to go after that cop. They got videos of all that stuff. All of the stuff that he did, there are videos of it. So it's not allegedly, he did it. His face is there in those pictures. He did it. There's no allegedly about it. He gets his right to have a court date, but I guarantee you that's not going to be a long-lasting court session. I'm going to tell you that right now. You got 5 counts on you, and you purposely try to run over a cop. And he's lucky. And again, I'm not trying to be political with the situation, but he's lucky it wasn't an ICE officer, or he wouldn't be here to say nothing because he'd been shot dead.
Exactly.
So there you go. And you're lucky those police officers were as calm as they were, too, in the whole situation.
One word. I got, 2 words here. Emotional intelligence. A lot of times this just goes out of the window for people. And then sadly, you're starting to see it in a lot of younger people. It's just, and I don't know what the level of parenting was for him, because I knew his mom just got on the stage and just said he's becoming a better man and everything like this, you know, when she was representing him. And then all of a sudden this happens 2 days after she just got, it's just embarrassing your mom. And so, I mean, I don't get it, man. It's just, you know, it's been, it's just unfortunate because, again, waste of talent. This is somebody that can be in the league that could be projected to be all pro, you know, maybe a Hall of Fame career if it goes in a different direction. But let's see how the cards fall. We don't know how everything's going to play.
The bird's still out.
The bird's still out, but it's going to be a long road, though. I'm kind of with B on this one. Yeah, I just think it's going to be tough, and you as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't stop there. Unfortunately, we got some more law news with NFL players. This is just one of those shows, guys. NFL player Keon White of the San Francisco 49ers was shot with an altercation involving Lil Baby and his entourage. After the Super Bowl, he was shot in the ankle, underwent surgery. So that means it was not just a skin flesh wound. He actually, I guess he had his ankle shattered. They had to do some surgery immediately. And so now, you know, for you guys who don't really follow rap a lot, Lil Baby's name has been up and down over the last couple of years, revolving around the YSL indictment here in Atlanta. And he was associated with Young Thug, you know, innocent until proven guilty. He has his own label, 4 Pockets Records. He went out to LA, said they had some paperwork on him because there's been some, some SHOOTINGS here in Atlanta. I didn't want to say in case they flag it. Here in Atlanta, that 2 teenagers were unalived on accident at a birthday. One of them, it was their 13th birthday, and they were saying that was all looped in. So they've been looking at this guy for a while. He goes out to LA, leaves Atlanta, goes to LA, tries to play the family man, puts out some videos or whatever with him and his kids. You out there now causing a ruckus, and you were supposedly, you know, tied in with some of this gang activity. This is not going to look favorable. And this really reminds me, I hate to bring him up. This reminds me of the Puffy situation. You guys, all of us remember Puffy with Shine and J-Lo back in the 90s, early 2000s, when there was a shooting and Shine took the fall for this shooting outside a club. They had J-Lo up there with threatening to basically say she perjured. I think Foxy Brown, some other people were up there. They actually like sent a couple of people to prison for perjury. So this is going to be the same situation, because all the articles are saying this is Lil Baby. Lil Baby was the person that actually shot him. But I guarantee somebody in the entourage is going to take the fall for Lil Baby and get this charge or whatever. So the verdict is still out on that, guys. Final thoughts on that, because I know we're at the top of the hour and you guys got an early morning in the morning.
I don't think none of those guys are going to take the fall for it. I think Lil Baby is in trouble because these boys not cut like that anymore. When Shine took the 10 years, Shine, I mean, obviously he took the heat for what Puffy did, but
and Puffy still
later, man. But either way, you know, these boys now they rats and everything. Everybody telling on everybody. it's just not going. Yeah, they're gonna be singing like canaries. They're gonna be on the top of the roof,
singing like a Grammy nominee.
Right. Yeah, Lil Baby been in all kinds of stuff. He's also the one that him and Meg Thee Stallion got into a situation too.
Tory Lanez did that.
Yep.
Tory Lanez.
Well, yeah, but he was part of that triangle though.
Oh,
like Tory Lanez he was part of that
triangle.
But anyway, yeah, he and to the fact that they did a record together on DJ Khaled's. They did a song together on DJ Khaled's record. And she said, I do my part and I'll sing my part. I don't want to be around him. That's how bad that got. So, yeah, he's little dude, either be a full-time crook or a full-time rapper. Make up your mind, because you can't be both. It ain't going to happen. You know, you're trying to live in this whole thug world that you're trying to live in. And I hate to say that to anybody, but you stop, dude. Because you're gonna find yourself in jail without the bail, and if you think that's gonna be some kind of badge of honor for you, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So anyway,
all the money that Young Thug had, and he sat for 2 years before he even had a trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was the longest trial in Georgia history. Over 2 years, every day in court. It's crazy. Well, they actually was in trial for a year, but he has sat for almost 2 years, and so it's the mentality, and kind of like what J Train said. These guys are soft as cotton balls. Somebody gonna sing like Grammy nominees, because the way they're handing out RICOs and him being, in another state with this, and basically allegedly Lil Baby was trying to get into this party that Keon White was having, and Keon didn't want him there. He was upstairs at the time. He came down to try to defuse the situation, and he got shot because he was the one hosting the party. But this is one of those crazy things, and this has been a fun show, guys. I love when we can intertwine sports and law, my two favorite things. B, you got a closing remark here?
Just got one more bad thing about a player in the NFL, Darren Lee. Darren Lee in jail, shot and killed his girlfriend, allegedly. But this is a whole situation that we have with Pierce. So. And he did not get bond. They said, no bond. You staying in jail, buddy. You staying in jail. And then he falsified evidence on top of it. So that tells you can say alleged as long as you want to say alleged, because you do have a fair right of court to prove your innocence. But when you're falsifying evidence and that means you did something. You did something, buddy. I don't know what you did, but there's a girl dead and you're falsifying evidence. Okay.
Covering up
stuff. That's why you ain't getting
y'all remember the
first round pick by the Jets. Sorry, Jack.
God. The first round pick by the Jets.
Yeah.
He couldn't jet himself into trouble fast enough. You guys remember that song when we were growing up? You tell one lie, then it leads to another. You tell two lies, then you have to tell another. When you tell these lies, it was like a little commercial that they had on there about, being dishonest. It was always on in the South. And that's exactly what it is. Alex Murdaugh is appealing his case in South Carolina, and they just talked about how he started blowing up his wife's phone, knowing he had just unalived her, while the phone was tracking the steps of him. He took the phone with him. His phone was no longer getting steps on it. Her phone was getting all these steps, but she was laying somewhere else. And he starts calling it to try to cover up himself as if he was looking for her. Just a mess. And he was a lawyer. So he thought he had himself set all the way up. But guys, we got to get out of here. I'll be at some point starting another show that just talks about shooting the breeze on everything. Because as y'all see, it just be so much to talk about. And it's just so interesting to see. Make sure you catch B and J in the morning with Jack Hirsch on Valentine's Day, guys. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, young, old, indifferent, single, whatever. And just love yourself. Love God, love yourself, and just have an amazing day. They're going to be on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Then Sunday mornings are abbreviated now because the NFL season is over. Have a good weekend too, Pink. Thank you. The abbreviated Sunday morning sports show, 8 a.m. B, James, Jack, Keith Angle, and you never know who else may drop by. Sometimes I have time to drop in, but it's been a real show. I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you guys when we see you.
Peace.